Good morning. You're listening to Trusting God at All Times, a daily devotion from Peakland United Methodist Church in Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm Andrew, the deacon here at Peakland. I have a very large plot in my backyard that is supposed to be a garden. For the last 2 years, we have tilled out this space and then attempted to plant things in it. This year, tilled out the top, tilled out the bottom, and we weeded out a lot of the stuff that was up at the top half of the garden, and then ignored the stuff on the bottom half. The crabgrass has grown so tall in this back half of the garden that it was up to my waist the other day. And so I couldn't even weed it. I've had to take out my hedge trimmers and go through and cut the grass down to be like 2 inches tall. And it keeps on growing. The sad part is that it has started to overgrow around some of the plants, specifically my magic pumpkin. Andrew, what do you mean by magic pumpkin? I'm so glad you asked. You see, last year I planted pumpkins. I have not planted pumpkins yet this year. And something strange happened. One of the pumpkins that had decomposed in the garden last year left at least a seed in the ground that began to grow this year. And so I have a pumpkin plant that has a vine that is longer than I am tall already, that I never planted. Unfortunately, the grass has swallowed the pumpkin vine, which has made it very difficult for me to both water it, but also to keep tabs on it. And pumpkins tend to reach out and grab onto different plants around them for life and for support. All of this is to say that I have not been on top of taking care of my garden. I laid a beautiful foundation. I did a lot of work to try to make sure it functioned. And yet still, it has not been as successful as I would like. And in large part, that is because I have not continued to care for it in the way that I needed to. Our spiritual life is very similar, and I know I've told you this before about gardening. A piece of spiritual life is that it takes continual cultivating. Much like my garden, you can lay the foundation, but if you do not continue to care for it, to weed things out, you will continue to fall short of how your garden can grow, how your spiritual life can grow. And so today, I encourage you to look at the garden of your soul. Maybe it's a little overgrown. Perhaps you have been avoiding it because it has gotten so filled with crabgrass that it has been too difficult and too overwhelming to confront. And today I want to tell you that you do not have to fix all of it at once. Today, you can just pull one weed. One weed is the first step to setting your garden. Amen.
Every Saturday morning, Pastor Joe has a devotional just for kids. It's a wonderful way to start the day with the family. That devotional, along with all the rest of our devotionals, is available from 7 o'clock on. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.